questions already. Welcome, good afternoon. My name is Mike from Doorne. I'm working for ABN AMRO Clearing. I'm doing this presentation together with Michel Sijmons, working for Nibble-IT. Nibble advised us and supported us during the implementation of EnterpriseDB. This presentation will not focus on the business case, but more on the approach and the steps we took and results on it. But yeah, don't worry, we still have one slide with the business case, so we'll say something about this. Yeah, maybe before we start, please raise your hand who is already using Postgres or is planning to use Postgres in the future or near future. Okay, quite some people. Interesting. So this is what we're going to tell today. We start with a small introduction of our companies. I will tell something about open source within ABN AMRO Clearing, what we did in the past 2 years. And then we will focus on EnterpriseDB, the approach we took, results, and at the end some lessons learned and conclusions. So ABN AMRO Clearing. ABN AMRO Clearing is is part of ABN AMRO itself, but yeah, you can more see it as a bank within a bank. Our business is completely focused on the clearing business. Yeah, it's quite difficult to tell in 1 minute. I will give it a try. So we are in the role of clearing member, and at the top you have the clients, and the clients are doing orders. And all the processes after the client did the order on the exchange, at the end the securities are delivered against the payments. That's what clearing is doing, so all the administrative process around that. We're also doing some supporting services, that's called the market access, and also custody and settlements, with the focus on our clearing customers. Some volumes. We're doing 14 to 16 million trades per day. So you can imagine that IT is very important for us. And even on peak days, then the volumes can double. If there are exchange crashes or that type of thing, you're going towards the 35 millions a day. We have our own IT departments and also our own data centers around the globe. So what about Nibble?
Yeah, I want to tell you a little bit about Nibble. Nibble is a consultancy company. We started in the 1990s. First we started with Ingress as the relational database, and we wanted to be a knowledge house around Ingress. So we did a lot of large customers at that time, but that were using Ingress as a database. Let's say in 95 we also adopted some other databases. One of them is Oracle, and SQL Server as their mainstream databases. So our customers were working with those kind of databases. After the year 2000, when everything was really improved, in 2002 we started to adopt the open source model, started a project with open source, then we first encountered Postgres as an open source database. Postgres was first mostly at that time the most logical choice because all our customers tend to have OLTP systems, and Postgres was more suitable to do OLTP kind of applications. So that was mainly our logical choice. Next to other open source databases was of course MySQL we encountered in the marketplace. As Nibble-IT we do a lot of things. We do first of all trainings. We give the trainings here in Holland also for Postgres and for EnterpriseDB. We do project leading when we have projects regarding to implement those databases or database systems. We can provide project leaders for those kind of projects. We have architects. I myself am an architect and working close together with Mike in the ABN AMRO to let's say to give their system all the things they need to have. We do consultancy. With consultancy we look at short projects, doing kinds of assessments or architectural review, just a few days within a customer somewhere and see how their environment looks like. If you need operational assistance, like for DBAs, that's the thing we do. System integration, sometimes we see that customers have an application provider on one side, a hosting provider on the other side, and those two worlds has to come together, and we can deliver some system integrators there who can help you to get your systems into production. Migrations, what we talk about today, is an important thing we do, and mostly nowadays we do migrations from systems like SQL Server and Oracle towards Postgres and EnterpriseDB, and that's also what we have to focus on this afternoon. And last but not least, we are also a reseller of the EDB product. So we are a company which is we have a one-stop model, so you can come to us and let's say get all of this, we can do the projects.
Open source within ABN AMRO Clearing. I think 2 years ago we made a big shift towards open source. And it was triggered by a data center consolidation program in Europe. And when we identified all the system, it was a complete technology stack. All the branches was a complete mess. We used everywhere different technologies. So we started to define a new technology stack at that time. And there was also a room for open source over there. So I think very important when we started with was to write an open source policy. Important because it really sets your boundaries if you're going to look at open source products, but it's also good for the buy-in of the management. Because at the end the CIO has to sign off the policy, so then you automatically have an agreement on the right level. We took in principle a top-down approach, so we started to rationalize the operating system level. So we started indeed with the Solaris, the AIX and the Red Hat as well at that moment, and we moved completely to the Red Hat Linux system, operating system stack. Next step was the middleware software. To be honest, it was had quite a bigger impact than the operating system level, but what we did there is we moved from WebSphere messaging to Web Methods messaging, JMS messaging, and we standardized our integration layer technology on Web Methods integration server. That's a product from Software ENG. And the last step, and that's what we're going to talk about today,